Hi, it's Rick.
And I'm Patrick. We're the engineers for Audiotree.
And today we're going to show you how we mic the drums for an Audiotree live session.
This gnarly, this quickly, I hardly had time to think. No time to think. If
I want to talk about the miking of the kick drums and processing of the kick drum. I grab a Telefunken M82. It's a microphone that's designed specifically for kick drums. It has a couple switch and settings that make it ideal. You place it on the kick drum, it's a front address microphone. You just put it right in front of the head. There's a hole, you can stick it in the hole, just a little bit. It's a real ringy kick drum. We'll have to deaden it a little bit or dampen it. When you see me place a mic, you'll see me look down and look and see what's through that microphone and it's pointing at, because people ask us about our isolation and stuff like that, and I basically just look at what the microphone's reflection through the head is pointing at it, and I want it to aim it at somebody's body or something that's not a cymbal or a drum.
For the snare drum, we use a Shure SM57 at a pretty shallow angle relative to the drum head. We like to keep it pretty close to the rim. One, because it gives us a little bit better capture of the entire shell sound and the head sound. You get it too close to the inside center of the drum head, you're going to get too much resonance and you might not get as much definition from the entire impact of the drum. For the toms, we use AKG C414s. A lot of guys use MD421s, but we prefer the large diaphragm condensers.
So when setting up, once again, I put it right on the rim. I look through it to make sure that it's not pointed at the snare drum or the other tom-tom or the hi-hat. I make sure that a cymbal doesn't bash into it. You gotta make sure it's in the clear but in a good spot.
I never thought it could be this bad.
So for hi-hats, we use the Sennheiser 416, and I like to place it pretty close, 5-6 inches, just directly straight on top of it, pointing right at it. Sometimes we offset it a little bit, depending, but usually it's not. It's just usually straight down, perpendicular. On the overheads, I like to put 416s. They're made by AKG. Similar to the 451s, 480s, they're all in the same series. They're really fast, bright. Placement of them is basically straight above the bell, perpendicular to the cymbal. That way it won't cause any phasing issues within the cymbal when it's moving around and whatnot. The last part of the whole thing is the room mics, which are, in most cases, all the vocal mics or talkbacks that you see. We've EQ'd them and whatnot to make the vocal sound great, but it also makes the drum ambience sound awesome too.
One session I like that I think is a really good example of what our vocal mics do for our drum sound is the Caspian session, especially at the outro. There's a part where everybody in the band grabs a drum and everybody is beating on one. At that point, there wasn't a mic on every single drum, but we need to get the sound somehow, so we essentially just boosted the room mics. We've always used the vocal mics as our room mics, sparingly, just to aid in the overall drum sound. Not as a focal point, but it's always something that helps to sort of define Audiotree's sound. In that Caspian session, though, you get a really clear idea of really what those vocal mics are doing for our room sound and for our drums. At the end there in that outro section, it's pretty much all the vocal mics carrying the weight.
The whole thing of having a band in a studio, you got to hear, if they're in a room, it's got to sound like they're in a room, right? We record discreetly, but we mix it and master it live, and that's it. What you see is what you hear. It all went down that way. All right, thanks for watching our drum miking tutorial.
We're going to have some more of these coming up, and check out more of our sessions at audiotree.tv.